Hello, everyone, and welcome back to My Purple Song Home Edition. My name is Latoya. If you have not visited my channel before, this is a vlog where I create videos sharing with you some trials that I've gone through in my life and currently still dealing with. I give you some inspirational tips and tricks on how to navigate those issues that I know that I am not the only one dealing with. With that being said, let's jump right into this video. For the last few years, I have been dealing with a pretty significant issue in my life. Not too many people know about it. I have been very vocal about wanting to become a mother, but I've never gone into detail about issues that I've been having surrounding that. Recently, there has been some developments that has forced me to not just create another chapter in my life, but write a whole nother book. So I am going to share that with you today. On March 27th of this year, I had a follow-up appointment with my endocrinologist. This follow-up appointment was to go over some blood work and an ultrasound that I had done to shed light on some issues that I was having, not only physically, but health-wise. I just wanted to know what was going on with my body. To give you a little backstory, let's start in my mid-30s. I am currently 43 now. I definitely started experiencing hot flashes around 35, 36. I remember in the dead of winter having to stand outside because I was so hot. No coat on, no nothing, because I was on fire. At the time, these weren't consistent, but enough to take notice. Fast forward to age 40. My hot flashes were not just flashes anymore. They were very consistent. I wish I had a man that was as consistent as these were, but that's a whole nother video. But they were all day, every day. I went to bed at night with a fan overhead and a fan to the side of me, all while under a cooling blanket. That's how bad my nights were. If some of my employees are watching this right now, I'm sure you remember me walking around the clinic with one of those Dollar Tree fans, just going to town, because that's how bad they were, and I couldn't control them. I never will forget a time where I was at the grocery store and I was walking up and down the aisles and on the phone with my sister, just yapping away. And all of a sudden, I just stopped because I could feel a flash coming on. I started getting hot, and I kid you not, it was like a wave of heat went from the top of my head down to the bottom of my feet, and it paralyzed me. In all the times that I had hot flashes, I had never experienced anything like that before. If I had a zipper on my skin, I would have unzipped my skin off and just bolted out of there. But what I did do, I left that cart right in the middle of the aisle and I took off out of that door. I could not stay in that store for one single second more. I always heard about flashes when I was younger, but my God, I didn't know they were like that at all. After that incident, I did do my research and I did find things that helped me regulate my flashes, and I can do a separate video on that. That's a whole nother video by itself, and I will be more than happy to go through the symptoms that I had and what helped me. because that is a life that I just could not live with anymore. And before anybody gets on me about why I didn't go to the doctor, yes, I did go to the doctor, and I will get into that now. So, going back to when I was about 41 years old, by this time I was also experiencing anxiousness, which is not me. If you know me, I don't get anxious about anything. I'm very laid back most of the time, but I'm a very laid back person, never anxious. Not only that, I gained a ton of weight. I gained this weight despite the fact that I was working out all the time. I was working out about 2 to 3 times a week, cutting back on what I was eating, what I was drinking, no sodas, just water. Like, it just didn't matter what I did, the weight was still coming on. And lastly, one of the things that might be obvious to some, but to me, this had been happening before in prior years, but I was no longer having my cycle. You're probably saying that is a telltale sign of what was going on in my body, but keep in mind, I'm still young. I was only 40 when this happened, and statistics were on my side. I went to my gyno, blood test came back looking good, except for my estrogen. My estrogen was very low, very, very low, non existent low, and pretty much I was in perimenopause. Before I speak any further on this story, I just want to say this is a very hard story for me to tell. It's taken me a while to get up here and tell this story because something that I've always wanted my whole life came crashing down at the end of the story. But I feel it's important to speak out because there are many women that go through this same thing every day. And I just want to let you know that you are not alone. From the outside, I am a very strong person. I look like I have it together, unbothered by a lot of things, but I could be laughing with you 1 minute, and in my head is a replay of a very pressing issue that I am dealing with. And this is something that has been top of my mind the last couple of years. Being told that I am in perimenopause is something that is very difficult because when I was told that, my first thought was children. That is something that I have wanted my whole life, and being told that that may not be an option for you anymore, it is a very tough pill to swallow. Very tough. This is something that has taken a great minute to deal with and process, and it still hurts sometimes, but I feel that it is a part of my purpose. For a while, I just accepted what my gyno was saying that, I'm in perimenopause. Having children may be difficult for you. Not saying that it won't happen, but it's a very small percentage that it will happen naturally. But like so many of us, we accept the first diagnosis and we go on with life, no problem. And that's what I did. I took that diagnosis and I was going to live with it, and I was going to try to alter what my outcome was going to be myself. My mother and my sister encouraged me to get a second opinion. I trusted this doctor and what she had to say, and I was ready to just deal with what she was saying to me. Fast forward to age 43. Since that last visit with the doctor, like I said, my mother and my sister were still pressing me to go and get a second opinion. And in true fashion, I did not want to deal with what another doctor had to say if this was in fact the end for me. So I just didn't do it. However, the weight started piling on still. This was the first time in my life that I had been 100 pounds. I've never been this weight before in my life. And I was living my life normal, still no cycle, still gaining weight. My hot flashes, they were still there, but I wasn't having as much as I was before. So that was a good thing to me. However, it was kind of scary almost because why aren't they as much as they were? That's something that I asked myself, and I came back to every once in a while. So I did, however, let my mom and my sister talk me into making a follow-up appointment with an endocrinologist. This endocrinologist did more blood work on me. She also did an ultrasound to see what could be going on inside of me. On May 27th, I had my follow up appointment with her. One of the toughest days of my life. The telehealth appointment lasted all of 10 minutes. The first minute of this appointment, I sat there and she told me that my blood work looked great, all besides one test. This test pretty much will tell a person what stage they are during the perimenopause menopause state that they're in. This doctor sat on the other side of the computer and she told me, based on this test, that I have gone through menopause already. I wanted to slam that laptop shut. I wanted to run upstairs, get into bed, and just cry, 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 cry. It was very devastating, what I was hearing, and I couldn't tell you much after that what she said, because what I was stuck on was, you're done. That's what I heard. I didn't hear, oh, your test was this, and no, no. I heard, you are done. All I could think about was my family, not having a family of my own, Birthing a child is something that I've always wanted to do. And that was taken away from me in 10 minutes. I was very, very, very angry. My sadness turned to angry. So I was told, I was in perimenopause, and to be told that you have gone through menopause already? What does that even mean? One of my test results was supposed to be a number. My number showed that of a woman much older than me. What? I could not wrap my head around. And sometimes when I think about it, I'm just like, what? And when things like that happen in my life, I say, this is the workings of God. Nobody else can do this. No man can do this. It took a while to get to that point, but in between time, it was a lot of questioning of God. It was a lot of crying and praying and asking, why me? I was preparing for this video and by writing on my blog, mypurplesong.com, about this, about this topic. And on the news was two parents that took home their baby, and they beat the baby to death. There are a lot of stories out there like that. And those are the ones that get me the most, because it's like, you bless them with a baby, and I'm here crying out for that same opportunity, and I don't get anything. I am not blessed with this. And I question why. I question why all the time. For years, I have questioned this. But because my trust in God is so strong, and my relationship with Him is so strong, it hurts. But as the days go on and I get deeper and deeper into my prayers and into my reading, I realize the word purpose. I realize there is a greater reason why I'm here. And my plan is just not His. What He wants me to do is not the same as why I think that I'm here. And the more that you believe and know His word is how you are going to be okay. For a long time, I was not okay. It has taken me a lot to get here. A lot to get here. I was not okay. And, you know that Tamala Mann song where she's like, I'm tired of praying. Like, I get it. I get it. There are some nights that I would just fall to my knees. My prayer would just be, God, I just want to be okay. I just want to be okay. And that was it. And I would get back into bed and I would go to bed. I would go to sleep. But guess what? He heard my prayers. Not only did He see to it that I was okay, but He told me why I was going to be okay. I remember when I was turning 40 and one of my really close friends gave me a call to wish me happy birthday. And I don't know how we got on the subject about having children, but she's a couple of years older than I am and she didn't have any kids and I didn't. So I guess we started talking about, our stages of life. But I did mention to her at the time, I said, there is probably a reason that God has not blessed us with kids. Now, this was way before I, found out what I was going through at the time and all of that good stuff. But I said, have you ever thought about why we do not have kids? I said, what is God protecting us from? I said, have you ever thought about, for example, childbirth? How many women die in childbirth? I said, we could be being saved from dying. Your mind doesn't want to go to these places, but it almost has to, because as much as I want to be a mother, and it hasn't happened yet, you have to think to yourself, what else am I supposed to be doing besides being a mother? I often pray this prayer because there are desires that I have had in my heart for years. And a lot of them have not changed because, us as humans, we want what we want and that's it. But over the last few years, and it took me a while to get here, but I have prayed this prayer of God changing my heart. As painful as it is to not be able to have children of my own, birth children of my own, I have asked God to change my heart in replace my desires with the plans that he has, that he sees for my life. I want my desires to be his desires for me. Let me tell you about my relationship with God. I have been through some things in my life that nobody knows. I'm not a talker of things that, a lot of things that I've gone through, I don't share with a lot of people. Mostly because, well, some because they've been self-induced. I do things, stupid things. I used to do stupid things that I don't feel like being judged on. And frankly, I don't want to hear anything about it. But if I told you the amount of saving, the amount of grace that God has shown me, you would be so amazed. And because of that is the reason why I have total faith in his plan. It has taken a lot to get here, because you always hear, and I've even said it on this platform, to ask God what you want. To go to him and just lay it out on the line, what you want from him. But I challenge you to go a step further. I challenge you to not only go to him with what you want, but ask him if this is the right move. Ask him if this is what he wants for your life. Ask him if this is it. Because giving birth to my own children is something that I wanted to do, still want to do. It's in it medically. I've been told that it's over, but, and that's a whole nother video, but I already feel my wants changing. Just to give you an example of this, for years on the news, I have gotten so upset when I hear the abuse of children. I hear about mothers and fathers abusing them in a way that has left them disabled. Like, I've heard all of these stories, and it has gotten me upset to where I'm sitting on my couch bawling for these kids, for these children. And I remember one time saying, God, I'll take them. I will take them. And what if I'm supposed to? What if I am supposed to be that person that raises a child that doesn't have what I had growing up? What if that is supposed to be me? If we go to God and pray on our desires, there are desires that, yes, he will bless us with, because they're his desires for our life as well. No matter where you are in life, if you think you're supposed to be at a certain place, throw it out. I would start by praying over your desires. Pray over what you see your life as. Because 10 years ago, at 33, if you would have told me I would be sitting here right now talking to you with no kids, that I would never have. I would have called you a liar. I'm going to have 2 or 3 kids. That's where I wanted to be at that time in my life. If I wanted something, I would make it happen at all costs. But this is something that I have never had control over, because it wasn't supposed to be. Here recently, I have said, Lord, change my heart. If I am not to have children, replace that with what you do see for me. Replace that with where I am supposed to be in life. I am fighting back tears because when I prayed that prayer, God said, you are exactly where you are supposed to be. When I say that I hear his voice loud and clear, I hear him. And if you form an honest and open relationship with God, you will hear him too. So I am in a season of rebuild right now. What I thought I knew, I don't. But through much prayer and honest conversations with not only myself, but with God, I am in a better place than when I was a couple of months ago, even a couple of years ago. Things in your life will never go the way you think they do sometimes. But you have to be prepared for that. God was preparing me for that, and I didn't even know it. Going back to conversation I had with my friend on my 40th birthday. Like I said, I don't even know how we got on that conversation or why I even brought that example up to her. But I feel that things happened the last couple of years that prepared me for the now. And I can appreciate that, and I accept that for what it is. I'm okay. I get emotional when I do look back and reflect on God speaking to me and what he has done for me. It's because I am fully immersed in his word. And I believe, I trust, and I have faith that all things are working for the good of me and whatever future that I have. As my shirt says, I had a plan, but God had a better one for me. He has a better plan for me. And you just have to believe that. You have to believe that. I have said this many times. When you go to God in prayer, be absolutely real. Be straight up. I tend to talk to him like I talk to my mom or my dad, I am very honest. And one of the things I like to do is go to a quiet place and have conversation. I don't have a prayer closet or anything like that because I do live alone. So everywhere in my house is going to be a prayer closet. But I tend to go to my stairs. I tend to go to my steps. Where my steps are in my house, there is a picture window right in front of my stairs, and I sit there and I have conversations with God. I will journal right there. I do talk to him in other places, but that spot on the stairs is a place where I find peace. And I encourage you to find that spot in your home as well. I am going to be making a part 2 to this video. I did say some things in the first part of the video where I talk about the changes I've gone through in my life and what has helped me along the way. I feel that it is important to share these things with you because if it helped me, it could help someone else. I have learned how to combat a lot of these issues. I'm no longer hot at night. No cooling blanket, no nothing. I can't tell you the last time I've gotten anxious. That's something that I don't deal with anymore. Yes, it is because I am on the tail end of this change in my life. But, I still, when I was going through it, I did find things that helped me cope with that. And I am going to make a second part to this video. So I pray that you join me for that. But I just wanted to leave you with this. I say this all the time. Please remember that you were given this life because you are strong enough to live it. God never gives us anything that we cannot handle. He knew that I could handle this. He knew that the desires that I had for my life, I was never going to get. There are some desires that I haven't gotten. And it's because I have a greater purpose for my life. I have something else I am supposed to be doing with my life. And he knew that I would be strong enough to take that on. And he knew that I would be strong enough to not get what I wanted. I encourage you to form that relationship with God because that is the only way that you are going to be okay. Thank you so much for joining me. If you've not yet subscribed, please subscribe now. Share this video. Share it with somebody who needs to hear this word. And I pray that my videos are doing some good to you. I love each and every one of you. I'll see you in the next video.